Okay, let's jump right in. If you're studying for your PMP, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're looking at one of those scenario questions, the ones that ask what you should do first or next, and you just get this feeling of, well, frustration. You read through the answer choices, and your brain just goes into overdrive. A, B, C, and D. They all seem like perfectly reasonable things a project manager would do. It starts to feel less like a test of your skills and more like a total guessing game. Right? So how in the world are you supposed to pick the one correct answer when they all look so good? Look, you are definitely not alone in feeling this way. But the good news is there is a method to the madness. And that is exactly what we're going to break down right here, right now. So here it is, the single most important mental shift you need to make. The PMP exam isn't just a memory test of facts and figures. It's really testing how you think. It's a test of your professional judgment, specifically designed to see if you can make decisions the way a seasoned project manager would, all through the lens of the Project Management Institute, the PMI. Basically, every single one of those tricky scenario questions is asking, can you take a breath, assess what's really going on, and follow a logical order of operations instead of just reacting? The moment you realize this is a mindset gap, not a knowledge gap, you've already won half the battle. So the solution is to get inside what we call the PMI mindset. This is all about learning to translate the language of the exam. You have to figure out what specific skill or principle they're really testing with each question. And check this out. This table is basically your decoder ring. When a question asks what you should do first, it's almost always a trap to see if you'll jump into action. The real test is, can you assess and analyze the situation before you do anything else? If it asks for what to do next, it's checking your understanding of the proper sequence of events. And when you see best action, that's your cue to find the answer that lines up with core PMI values, like being a servant leader or following a structured process. Cracking this code is everything. Okay, so let's put this into practice. We'll start with the first major approach, predictive, which you might also know as waterfall. The name of the game here is being plan-driven. In a predictive project, your project plan is your Bible. Everything, and I mean everything, is about control and minimizing risk. This is why PMI expects you to stick to your baselines for scope, schedule, and cost like glue. It's why you never just make a change without analyzing the impact first. And it's why you document everything and use formal communication channels. It's all about preventing surprises. Okay, picture this, a classic predictive scenario. A really important stakeholder comes up to you and asks for what seems like a teeny tiny change. Your gut reaction might be to just say, sure, to keep them happy. But that is not the PMI way. The correct PMI-approved response always follows these steps. 1. You assess. Look at the plan, figure out the real impact on scope, time, and money. 2. You document. Create a formal change request. 3. You submit that request to the Change Control Board, the CCB, for an official decision. It's not your call to make alone. And finally, step 4. You communicate the board's decision, whether it's a yes or a no. So here's the big takeaway for predictive questions. If it asks what to do first, you need to scan the options for words like assess or analyze. That's almost always your answer. If it asks what to do next, you're looking for the follow-up action, like communicating the decision, updating the plan, or executing the work. Now let's totally shift gears and talk about the second approach, agile. If predictive is about control and structure, agile is, well, it's a completely different beast. It's all about flexibility, collaboration, and delivering value fast. See, in the agile world, change isn't a problem to be avoided. It's an opportunity to be embraced. The entire goal is to get working software or valuable product into the customer's hands in small, frequent chunks. And that only works through constant collaboration. But the absolute golden rule, the most sacred principle, is you must protect the team's focus during the current sprint. So here's your typical agile situation. You're halfway through a 2-week sprint, the team is in the zone, and a stakeholder runs up wanting to add a quick new feature right now. What do? The agile mindset is crystal clear on this. You never, ever disrupt a sprint in progress. So the right move is to first capture that request. Put it in the product backlog so the idea doesn't get lost. Then you partner with the product owner. It's their job to prioritize that backlog for future sprints. The team gets to stay focused and deliver on their commitment. So for agile questions, here's your cheat sheet. If they ask what to do first, the answer is almost always about collaboration. Look for words like communicate, capture, or collaborate. You're a facilitator, not a gatekeeper. If the question asks what's next, the focus shifts to working with the team or product owner to prioritize and adjust the backlog for the future.
Of course, in the real world, projects are rarely 100% predictive or 100% agile. Most of the time, they're a mix. They're hybrid. And you can bet the PMP exam is going to test you on this.
The secret to the hybrid mindset is knowing when to use which approach. Think about building a brand new electric car. The physical manufacturing part? That's probably predictive. It's high risk, has tons of safety regulations, and needs a detailed plan. But the software for the car's touchscreen? You'd want to build that using Agile, with short sprints and lots of user feedback. The one rule that connects both worlds? You always assess the impact and talk to your stakeholders before you act. Wow, okay, we've covered a ton of ground. To make sure this all sticks, let's boil it down to a simple checklist you can run through in your head before you click that final answer on the exam. So before you commit, just take a second and ask yourself these questions. 1. Am I assessing before I'm acting? 2. Am I communicating before I'm executing? 3. Does this answer make logical sense in the sequence of events? 4, and this is the big one, is this scenario predictive, where I follow the plan, or is it adaptive, where I embrace change? And finally, 5, does my answer protect my stakeholders and help us reach the project goal? This little check is going to be your best friend on exam day. You know, once you start using this framework, the whole exam feels different. It's no longer a bunch of tricky questions designed to trip you up. It becomes a series of leadership decisions. You're not just guessing anymore. You're using real judgment. You're not just studying for a test. You're learning how to truly think like a PMP. So are you ready?